All right, so that was the end of chapter 20. I'm gonna give myself a sip of coffee. And let's carry on with chapter 21 of Problem Sleuth. DMMK, Titan drawstrings yet again. Oh my gosh, Gravity Berserker, mass times... How many zeros is that? So there's like 3, 6, so this is million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion. So the mass is 1 sextillion. Mass times 1 sextillion, which is what, like, hold on. Billion, trillion, billion, billion. So it's like a billion trillion, basically, or something like that. I don't know if I got that right or not, but it's a sextillion, which is a lot. Volume times 1 over 10,000. You'll get them a good tug this time, lowering your volume and jacking up your mass to a factor of 1,000,000, million, roughly the weight of an Earth-sized planet. Jeebus crust. Next. Yep. He's become a black hole, basically. Dark Matter Mobster Kingpin has slipped under his Schwarzschild radius and collapsed to become Black Hole Mobster Kingpin. Nothing can escape his gravitational pull. Not even light, no matter how slowly and how steadily it attempts to crawl out of his gravity well. Oh my gosh. I wonder though, like, I wonder if like Black Hole Mobster Kingpin will have an effect on the light that is traveling through the fan cord right now. I wonder if that's gonna have like any kind of implication there. Although the fact that there is now a black hole certainly has excuse me, I sneezed. Certainly has probably not good implications for for what's going on here. All right, next. And they get sucked into a black hole. Hold on, I think I'm gonna sneeze again. Nope, it's going away. Never mind. Death, greet new visitors. Oh my gosh, it's all the past and future Pickle Inspectors. You become so frazzled by people coming and going, you completely forgot to have some tea prepared for your new guests. It seems all the imaginary Pickle Inspectors have finally caught up with each other in the afterlife. Oh, and also Higgs, oh shoot, what was Higgs's last name? I already forgot. I'm gonna take my laptop outside and continue working with air and sunshine. I may be back. All right, Nick, that sounds like a wonderful idea, actually. I hope the weather is pleasant today where you are. Death, beg visitors to stay. Higgs Bonehead, thank you, Blue Glass, thank you. Got Higgs Bonehead and all the past and future Pickle Inspectors here. Please, I beg of you, stay. So lonely. Oh, and it's the sperm whale. You plead with these fellows to stay put in the afterlife. You are at your wit's end. You will do anything. The gentlemen agree amicably to remain where they are. The gray fellow appears to be way too large and unintelligent to leave anyway. Then we got Madame Muriel still there. For some reason, Madame Muriel, like, didn't leave when everyone else left. I don't know why, but there we go. I love how PS implies Death is a well-mannered housekeeper that welcomes his guests with open arms. Yo, how's it going, Toto Stuck? Happy Saturday to you. Half lurking. Well, have fun. We will also have fun. Half lurking, full lurking, whatever amount of lurking or chatting y'all are doing, I'm just glad you're all here and hanging out with us. Having a wonderful time. Next. The madam, who appears not to have left with the others, gives her assurance as well. She suggests a round of that game you were so fond of. The one with the mammals. She doesn't mind. If you didn't know better, you would swear the madam was beginning to fancy you. You become a little uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, does Madame Muriel have a crush on Death? Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. How weird. P.S. Get ye ink flask. Oh my gosh. Isn't Get Ye Flask a... That's a Homestuck... No, sorry. That's a Homestar Runner reference. Get Ye Flask, I think is like, what is it? It was, wasn't it that from Thy Dungeon Man? Yes. Get Ye Flask, moron! Homestuck Runner, yes. I very nearly said Homestuck Runner. I meant Homestar Runner. Although, what a mashup that would be. Homestuck Runner. I would love that. Like, oh, gosh. Now I'm thinking about that. Like, what character would Homestar be? Maybe Homestar would just be the John Egbert. Like, hey Dave, you wanna play this new game called Suburb? No, John, leave me alone. I'm checking my emails. My Homestar impression's not that great. My strong band's okay. Although I do a pretty good King of Town. Did somebody say leftovers? Yeah, Blue Glass. It is originally. I don't know if Vine Dungeon Band is specifically a King's Quest reference. Peasant's Quest was King's Quest for sure. That was a King's Quest spoof, definitely. Vine Dungeon Man, I think, was more of an homage to like the really early like text command games like Zork and Castle Wolfenstein and all those things. But yes. What was I doing? Okay. Problem Sleuth acquires the ink of Squid Pro Quo and puts it safely in his pocket, where any good flask belongs. The items remaining in your inventory are, of course, 4 precious pieces of candy corn, a lot of useless ammunition, and your supplies of elf tears, weasel snot, hog slop, and pie filling, each respectively at 36, 12, 18, and 29 drops precisely. All you need is a weapon. Next. It has been a while since we checked out the inventory recursive. Indeed, just like a real video game. The gravitational pull of BHMK is unstoppable. The game of life is being ripped apart. Buildings, trees, ugly dogs, everything is sucked into his event horizon. No, not the ugly dogs, no! What did those ugly dogs ever do to us? What did they do to deserve this? Nothing, nothing. Next. Oh goodness, this is not going to end well. Oh no, everyone got sucked into the black hole, including the doors of life and death. Oh no. Oh my god. Well, this is, yeah, this is not gonna end well at all for anybody. What in the world is going on? Okay, that's a new face. And also Demonhead Mobster Kingpin just straight up has a black hole on his hat. And now he has 3 life bars, of course. That was kind of predictable. Hey Seth, how's it going? Happy Saturday. This is his final form. It's DMK's 3rd and final face. He is more fearsome than ever, with 3 health meters and a deadly black hole version of his non-imaginary self pulsing on top of his hat. In addition to which, he is completely invulnerable to all physical attacks and has no weakness to increases in blood sugar or emotions. He is only susceptible to damage caused by righteous fires of charisma, but it is doubtful there is any hero in the cosmos bold enough to wield them. Oh, he also regenerates any quantity of damage he suffers instantaneously. Good luck! Oh my god. Well, we're screwed, aren't we? There's no way we're beating this thing. It's impossible. I look forward to finding out how we beat this thing. NB plus HD. Get sucked into Event Horizon in more elongated manner. Oh my gosh. As you approach the Event Horizon, the strong tidal forces cause your aspect ratios to be stretched out. NB loosens her aspect corset to compensate. Wonderful. Completely broken super boss right there, indeed. Just brew a batch of your Tory Ale and you should be fine. Oh man, I should brew a batch of butterscotch cinnamon Tory Ale at some point. Like, oh, he can't die of diabetes. Nope, he can't, Collins. That is accurate. Alright, next. Alright, well, they are getting sucked in an elongated manner. The closer you get, the more pronounced the gravitational time dilation becomes. To everyone in the universe, you appear to be slowing down until you seem frozen in time, just outside the horizon. But to you, everything in the universe appears to be speeding up. Oh my goodness. Yes, don't forget our determination either. Just before you cross the horizon, you catch a glimpse of every future event in the universe all happening at once. Oh my gosh. NB, put on sunglasses. What is happening here? What you witness cannot be described by words. A spectacle transcending time and space. If it is true 1,000 angels dance on the head of a pin, then so it seems all universal events imagined and real play on the polarized lens of a Hollywood B-list celebrity. NB is Dave, confirmed. Oh my gosh. I was actually thinking that too. It was like, oh my gosh, there's some Dave vibe going on here. Hey, Roddy Bobs, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Yes, Problem Sleuth is good and weird and delightful. And we are about to find out what happens in the end. You cross through the event horizon. DMK, level 99 Coddle Tech, Thornswoggle. Oh my goodness. Well, this seems like it's going to be a tough defense to penetrate. DMK deploys his Black Briar of Cruelty. The macabre thicket acts as yet another impenetrable defensive barrier, as if he needed one. I was actually thinking that the moment I saw this. I was like, why would he need more defense? He's supposed to be indestructible. Well, they asked who would have the charisma and who would be willing to step up. Ah, true. Oh, Seth. Seth, you have redeemed enough happy caps to get the captain role in Discord. Congratulations, it is a purely ceremonial role with no benefits or perks whatsoever, other than people will know you were cool for watching the stream. So thank you, Seth. Much appreciated. I will set that up for you. Oh, I can set that up for you right now. Let's see. Roll. Captain. Yay. There you go, Seth. Although, since you're currently a sub, you're going to be listed as a sub in Discord for now. That is higher up on the hierarchy, so there you go, Seth. Good job. Hydrate. Thank you, Collins. I will. Alright. I was half expecting this to be Homestuck 2 or the epilogues, and it was ready to be Feels Bad Man, but it feels amazing, man, since it's Problem Sleuth. Yeah, like, I only categorize this as Homestuck on Twitch because there's not, like, a better category for a Problem Sleuth. Oh my gosh, here comes the hydrate spams. Here comes all the hydrate spams. I got 5 so far, so. And 2 more popped up while I was doing that. Thank you, Seth, and McCatnip, and Heterosapiens, and Serax for attempting to drown me. I appreciate that. Are they trying to drown me? It's tradition. People try to drown me every Saturday. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Serax. I should maybe put a cooldown timer on the hydrate. McCatnip, thank you. Gonna run out of water at this rate. Let's see. Does the oh, sorry, I'm catching up on chat. So, does the captain role have an associated color? Yeah. So in Discord, the if you have the captain role assigned to you, your name shows up as a shade of blue. If you're a Brenefactor or a sub, Twitch sub, that's a shade of purple. Let's see. Let's see. You guys trying to drown him. I love how Homestuck is considered a game. You know what? It's interesting to think about, like, a verb. Like, there's not really like a single verb that captures what the interaction with Homestuck is, because like you read Homestuck, but you also watch Homestuck, and you also at times play Homestuck. So I guess like the most encompassing thing is you just experience Homestuck. So anyway. But yes, there are parts of Homestuck that definitely are a game. This is essentially Homestuck Beginnings using Mother Earthbound nomenclature. Yes, Problem Sleuth kind of is Homestuck Beginnings in a way. Homestuck is a game? What else could it be? The tags say first playthrough. Oh, yeah, you know what? I think those tags are just left over from like my gaming streams. Although, like, first playthrough is kind of apropos because this is my first time reading Problem Sleuth, and like there's not really a better tag for that. So, anywho. Come 2021, the game sections of Homestuck will be defunct, unfortunately. Yeah, because Flash will no longer be a thing by the end of the year. So, I wonder if they have any plans for replacing the Flash games with like maybe HTML5 versions that work. Because it would really be a shame to not be able to experience those parts of Homestuck anymore. So, anywho. I got sidetracked with some delightful conversation with some wonderful folks in chat, which is all of you. So let's carry on with Problem Sleuth. Let's see. Impenetrable defensive barrier as if he needed one. DMK can also wield the bramble offensively. The frisky creepers get down to business. It's the business of not minding their own business and involving themselves in your business. This music seems appropriate for what's going on right now. PS and PI are constricted in a prickly sleeper hold. Could this be the end? I suppose if you were to perish, you could always just walk out of death's door again. Oh wait! You can't because it got sucked in the black hole. Oh hey, Cole Rains, how's it going? Happy Saturday. It's good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. To be honest, my more puts-on-nerdy hat opinion is that Homestuck is a lyric, epic, or set of legends. That's also fair. I think that's completely fair, Bug. Death and Company. Level 3 Hippotech. The Hunger. Wait, what? Oh my gosh, what's about to happen here? Oh my gosh, now they're playing a massive game of Hungry Hungry Hippos. Hippo Inspectors, ascend to Godhead. Wait, what? Hippo Inspectors? Wait, did the past and future Pickle Inspectors become... Oh, they are acting as the hippos. Okay, I see what's happening there. I didn't catch that at first. Like, wait, these are the past and future Pickle Inspectors, and now they are Hippo Inspectors. How weird and nonsensical and delightful. The 4 PIs are beckoned by their creator. GPI fondly regards his beloved children. Oh, that's kind of adorable, actually. Collide's music is really good, Roddy Bops. Collide is just fabulous. There's a lot of good music in Homestuck, really. Next. Now they're going back to being Pickle Inspectors. GPI has a specific task for the 4 of you. Naturally, you are all eager to do his divine bidding. PIs, Tempora Replica Simile ad infinitum. A lot of good music? You mean all music in Homestuck? Yes, perhaps I do. Oh my gosh, they're repeatedly splitting themselves. Oh god, this is gonna give me such a headache. Oh, what? There's so many of them. There's so many of them. Why are there so many of them? Each PI divides himself into 2 smaller parts, deploying one to the past, the other to the future. Their parts continue this process ad infinitum. Soon, the particles are so small they exist on the atomic scale, and so plentiful they occupy every location in every moment of the universe's history. Oh my god. So Pickle Inspector always was, always is, and always will be. Oh my god. It's one of those pictures you stare at till you see the underlying image. Yeah, Nick, it kind of feels like that's how it is. I'm actually staring at it right now to see if like some kind of like hidden image pops up, like those magic eye things. And all I am managing to do is strain my eyes, so I will stop doing that. Ah yes, particles. I think we're nearing the really near end, the really near end of Problem Sleuth. Yes, we actually have, let's see, we're on page 1462 and it ends on 1674. So we have like 200 10-ish pages to go. All right. Anyway, yes, Pickle Inspector. We are all Pickle Inspector. PI is already here. Oh my gosh. They are now up quarks and down quarks. Wait. I wonder if... Because Charm is a type of quark. Are like all of the Charm quark versions of Pickle Inspector going to like mass into like a big ball of Charm and defeat Demonhead Demonhead Mobster Kingpin? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know how this works. The particles politely play the roles of each elementary particle in the standard model, namely quarks, electrons, and neutrinos. Their forces are propagated by different sorts of lumbering boneheads, including photons and gluons, which lazily shuffle along at the speed of light. Lazily shuffling at the speed of light, indeed. Pickle Inspector is an atom now, indeed. Pickle Inspector is smaller than atoms. If Pickle Inspectors turn into Hippo Inspectors, do the Hippo Inspectors actually inspect hippos? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know what they do in their free time. I'm not going to tell them how to live their lives, but I imagine they do inspect hippos for fun. You are made of Pickle Inspector. Yes, we are all made of Pickle Inspector. Everything in the universe and life is made of Pickle Inspector. Let's see. What was I doing? Let's see, where was I? Let's see, the forces lazily shuffle along at the speed of light. Yes, this is where I left off. The many particle/energy interactions have even created some morons and moron neutrinos. Sadly, their lifespans are rather short, and they undergo the process of moron decay. Next. What in the world? The particles spread throughout history to comprise all of the matter in the universe at every moment in time. And so it was that GPI created the universe. He regarded his creation with fondness and saw that it was good. My god, so everything we have seen up to this point has always been Pickle Inspector. It has always been Pickle Inspector. This is blowing my mind a little bit. It's Pickles all the way down. I bought a mic boom arm a few days ago, so that's cool. Oh, that's awesome, Collins. That sounds like a fun toy. I feel like someday if I have like a little more space and a little extra cash, maybe I'll get like a boom stand for my mic with like a shock absorber. That would be cool. I wanted to be really fancy with my setup. Next. The tidal forces have stretched Hysterical Dame into a string of quarks. Nervous Broad maintains her voluptuous, full-bodied figure, but isn't sure how much more she can loosen her corset. HD and MB, land already! HD reverts back to her original dimensions. Next. The others land too. You wonder where the heck NB went. So they all got sucked into a black hole, but then they all just like landed safely somewhere, including the doors of life and death. Next. It seems you were all standing on her. She tightens her corset. Oh my gosh. Yo, how's it going, Baffling Bookworm? Did I miss anything important? Dark Matter Mobster Kingpin became Black Hole Mobster Kingpin and sucked everyone into a black hole, so there's that. Also, we're on Demonhead Mobster Kingpin's final form.
I'm thinking of a number.
But no, nothing important has happened.
Do you know what it is?
Next.
It's my credit score. The higher my credit score, the better chance I have at saving a lot of money.
It looks like the Demonhead goddess has been waiting here to greet you, wherever it is here might be. She had on an earlier occasion summoned her army of courtesan angels to help her escape. They naturally proved to be of no use whatsoever. There are an awful lot of them. Next. Oh yeah, we did just witness the creation of the universe. That's also true. How could I forget the creation of the universe so easily? 1,000 to be precise, each shrunken to a minuscule size. It could be that these are 1,000 angels which are said to dance on the head of a pin. Oh my gosh, they are dancing on the head of a pin. They are dancing on the head of a kingpin. A mobster kingpin. A Demonhead Mobster Kingpin. Next. Or the head of a kingpin. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is Black Hole Mobster Kingpin they're on top of, it seems. Okay. Gotcha. Next. Oh, this is trippy. Next. Oh my gosh. Black Hole Mobster Kingpin is become fractals, basically. Next. Wow, this is like weirdly, bizarrely beautiful. / unsettling. Okay, so everyone is like inside the black hole sitting on top of Demonhead Mobster Kingpin's head. Hussey has been batshit insane since 2007, yes. Oh my goodness. It's like, just look at this panel. Like, recall that this started out as what seemed like a simple room escape game. And now we are here. I think I described this last stream as, well, like when trying to explain Problem Sleuth, it's a game of room escape that elevates to attacking and dethroning God. We've actually reached 2009 by this point. It's nearly time for Homestuck. Indeed. Weasel King, Survey Kingdom. His Royal Excellency makes a regal and slightly disconcerted perusal of his realm through the brass eyepeep of his Imperial Gazing Wand. He has been monitoring developments with the nearby volcano, which until today had been inactive for centuries. Is it really a volcano, or is it the underside of the sleazy brothel, I wonder? Oh boy, time to reread Homestuck. You know what? I actually have thought about trying to reread Homestuck on stream and like trying to do it in like a year as opposed to 2. But that will not be happening anytime soon. But maybe someday. Yes, it does seem that Mount St. Lardass is fit to burst. Oh my. Mount St. Lardass. Oh my goodness. Recap part 2. Wait, how long is this recap? Oh, this isn't too bad. It's still not nearly as bad as a Homestuck recap. Alright, so here we go. Here's a recap. The devil is touching up a few notes on his sulfuric tablature. He documents a tale which was last updated. Ah, very good. Last updated like 366 pages ago. Which was last updated in the Tome of Wayfaring Souls by a now rather preoccupied Death. When Death had finished his last entry, DMK had just exposed his second face, Team Sleuth had invoked their gambit schemas, HD and NB had begun wandering through the sleazy brothel in the sky, and AD was embarking upon a game of life with death. It is that game where we pick up again. The match began as a friendly one, but became quickly reduced to a series of boorish tactics by AD, who stole all of Death's money while he was distracted. They pursued each other in their game pieces, but AD struck a defenseless woman who was crossing the street. AD pleaded with Death to spare her life, but Death was nowhere to be seen. Miraculously, the woman survived, and then AD and Wifehurst became married. With Wifehurst, AD sired the adorable Sunhurst. As a family, they enjoyed years of peaceful, prosperous life, as AD built an empire on various illicit, legitimate establishments. This activity caught the prying eye of some thugs who were none too pleased with AD muscling in on their boss's racket. One day while taking a walk, AD's family was gunned down by the thugs. AD auto-parried a bullet to save Sunhurst, but Wifehurst was not so lucky and perished. This prompted the surviving family to seek vengeance as vigilantes. They became Bathurst and Punisher Dick. Unfortunately, the Wheel of Life had different plans for them. Rather than fighting crime, they would be heading west to the open frontier. Tragically, Bathurst drowned while they attempted to ford the river in their wagon. AD was inconsolable with grief and wandered the countryside heartbroken and alone. Eventually, he found a gun underneath a tree stump and shot himself. With each successive misfortune befalling AD, DMK's emotions level increased, causing him to be susceptible to physical attacks. This allowed PS to inflict major damage through his Gambit Schema, Candy Corn Vampire, with its heightened attributes such as increased strength, endurance, and vampire fastness. His first move was to invoke Combat Operandi Armistice, summoning Death, who was called away from his game of life with AD. Death gave PS his Scythe to wield against DMK. PS utilized the Scythe in its various forms, culminating with the A-Bomb Scythe, completely wiping out one of DMK's 2 health meters, as well as permanently destroying the Scythe much to Death's sorrow. You're gonna head off, I Smile? Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Yes, feel free to watch the VOD later. Shout out to Future Me, I guess. So y'all have a good one. Hi, Future I Smile. Saying hello to you. I know you're watching the VOD now. Hope you're having a good whatever you're doing. Whatever time and day it is. Alright. Let's see. Where was I? Much to Death's sorrow. Concurrently to this battle, HD and NB were trapped in the brothel, equipped with a couple of special corsets. They were confronted with a very large fan plug, which they needed to find a way to plug in for some reason. This led them on a journey through the brothel, which involved conducting sultry performances in a series of private booths, which involved using items on hand to either remove a small mural from a wall, or conceal it with a coat of paint, or generally deface it in rather seductive fashion. The performances were much to the delight of 3 gentlemen, a mannerly highbrow, a dapper swain, and a churlish toff, who each sat in their respective coin-operated viewing booths. Once the coin-op slot Once the coin-op slot's time had expired or became disabled in some way, the window no longer served to display the other side of the booth. Instead, the windows served as portals to various trucks, including a bread truck, a cheese truck, and a ham truck, and allowed someone to either exit the rear of the truck or enter the cabin of the truck, depending on which side of the booth one enters from. This rear exit/cabin entrance polarity was controlled by a series of switches on the ceiling just outside the booths, accessible only to one with a significant height attribute. NB used these portals to thread the fan plug through them, and out the backs of their corresponding trucks. Stepping through the differently shaped portals, as well as making adjustments to her aspect corset, served to modify her proportions as well as her Vim attribute, which at times was useful for carrying the plug. She also helped the highbrow to drive the bread truck, while HD also drove the cheese truck with the swain to various destinations to facilitate the threading process, at one point threading the cord through the eye of the ham needle, which became handy for repairing the universe later on. Finally, they used the ham truck to deliver the fan plug to the gutter pipe projects, and fed it through the pipe and out the lens of the motion picture projector, which projected the plug at a normal scale, which could fit into an outlet, and projected HD and MB at a diminutive scale. HD used her scale bonus to bring her scale back to normal, and entered the door of MM's studio. NB remained small, and simply walked through the mouse hole with the plug. In the studio, NB used her corset to become very tall to plug in the fan. The outlet, however, supplied no power, since it was controlled by a switch in the dollhouse attic. HD encountered an enraged MM. NB then entered the foyer of the dollhouse and entered the studio from the other side, with her dimensions restored to normal. HD and NB clashed with MM using their weapons of burlesque seduction on the madam. Meanwhile, FAD had grown tired of the struggle with DMK and decided to go mess up MK's fort directly. He rode it like a mechanical bull and promptly crushed it with his impressive weight attribute. This sparked a wild chase through the greater facility, sending them down the dumbwaiter shaft, into the speakeasy, crashing through the speakeasy floor, into the speakeasy again while shattering an oboe, and out the exit and into MK's legitimate establishment. Thinking of picking up an XLR mic someday, Collins? That sounds awesome. I'm using a Blue Yeti, which is a USB mic, which does a pretty decent job, but maybe one of these days I'll upgrade to XLR. But it's not today. Anyway, they exited this establishment to find themselves on Horror Island. Thank you, Collins. I need a drink. With a view of the clock tower of Cartesian alignment, whose hands crept toward the strike of the witching hour. Thank you, McCatnip. This music reminds me of the lunatic Pandora in Final Fantasy VIII. Anyway, Speakeasy patrons loitered in the crowd while DMK tried to blend in by swapping hats with a nearby gentleman. FAD eventually discovered him, in the process thefting a top hat from a man, leaving him hatless. The two entered the sleazy brothel through the theater and fought their way through MM Studio, where HD, NB, and MM were just about to clash. They fought their way through the dollhouse foyer and then into the pantry, where they continued the struggle by the Lazy Susan of Endowment. Meanwhile, the following more tangential events transpired. On the deck of the Chicago Overcoat, P.I. inched toward a large anchor, hampered by his Frankenstein slowness. Ah, yes, that's where the Hatless Man came from. Yeah, the Blue Yeti does a pretty decent job. It does pretty reasonable for its price. Good value, I think, if you have it set up correctly. At the behest of PS earlier, 4 heroes from the kingdoms climbed the 66,666 levels in the Cathedral of Sedentic Ascension, besting foes along the way. The dapper Swain found his way through the projector, and was crushed by MK's careless foot. He recovered, though, to give a valiant peeping effort through his personal gawkular lens. Eventually, all 3 gentlemen would end up in MM Studio in a diminutive state. After suffering a series of attacks, MM retreated into the dollhouse foyer to equip her corset. She discovered it had been stolen, though. Her assailants pursued her, and she fought back using her skeleton brush and pallet. On the ship, an impetus comb was completed just as P.I. reached the anchor. He was about to use a pretty lame comb rave that possibly involved an anchor when MK swapped suckle receptacles in the pantry to steal the rave for DMK. DMK then used his ridiculously powerful attack, Fill Him With Daylight. P.I. dropped the anchor overboard and hooked it onto the cathedral, causing the ship to swing around out of the range of attack just in time. DMK's attack ripped the universe in half, exposing the extra-dimensional cosmic superstring strata. Meanwhile, the 4 heroes reached the top of the cathedral, which had also been split in half, and they remained suspended in the middle. GPI, seeing his creation in peril, was spurred to rare action to repair the damage. He invoked Deus Ex Sewing Machina, picked up the ham needle with the fan cord threaded through it, and affixed it to his sewing machina. He sewed his creation back together, stretching the cord across the entire length of the universe and depositing the ham needle back where it was. The 4 heroes, having floated to the other side of the cathedral, together turned a crank, which caused the cathedral's eye to zoom into the face of the clock tower, which was at the strike of midnight, locally known as the Witching Hour. This revealed the very large chronoscope of axial conjugation extending from the eye, pointing at the distant clock. At the strike of the Witching Hour, PS, who was manning the ship's wheel, noticed that the wheel in fact served as a viewport from the clock's vantage. He simply reached into the wheel, reached across the great void of space, and plucked the chronoscope from the cathedral, and pulled it out of the wheel as a normal-sized telescope, deactivating the wheel in the process. He threw the chronoscope to the highly immobile PI, who then affixed the scope to his sniper rifle, which caused the clock tower to transform into the Clock Tower Sniper Cannon, a weapon operated from afar by the sniper rifle itself. He used the cannon to deal a great deal of damage to DMK, all of which was rapidly regenerated. But the salvo over time released enough Pang Nectar to produce 3 very large impetus combs, the 3 biggest ones dwarfed only by the 8th and final comb yet to be prepared. The 3 combs were applied to the following characters and their corresponding comb raves. HD, Comb Rave Rolling Thunder. NB, Comb Rave Highly Flammable Case of the Vapors. PFPI plus FFPI, Comb Rave Temporal Replicate Collision. Okay, the recap is caught up to where we started stream today. We're getting close to the end here. The first 2 were used in tandem in the final stand versus MM, completely defeating her. She wound up in the afterlife, where she and others would be cajoled by death to play a variety of games. Other characters would arrive in the afterlife in this manner over the greater course of events, including Wifehurst and Bathurst, who died in the game of life as previously described. Also winding up in the afterlife would be FAD, when during his scuffle in the pantry, MK swallowed him whole by reversing his belly of the whale attack on him through the method of extortion. This caused MK to absorb FAD's essence and become FMK, a much larger, heavier version of himself. It had also become apparent that MK was the one who stole MM's corset, the Gravity Brassiere, as he was wearing it at the time of this incident. To restore his former size, he simply pulled on the volume drawstrings to decrease his volume. This concentrated his weight into a smaller patch of the floor, which he caused to collapse and fall through. He landed underneath the dollhouse table, beneath which the 3 diminutively sized gentlemen had gathered. The 4 heroes would eventually gather there as well, as they had since ascended/descended to the other side of the cathedral to the city's streets, and jumped through the projector. This group eventually included all of the speakeasy patrons after the witching hour expired, including a hatless man who managed to obtain the Ink of Squid Pro Quo for later ill-advised consumption. After slaying MM, HD and NB acquired the skeleton key to unlock the door to the upper floors. They ascended, freeing several horrors, which I call warriors now, and recovering Ben Stiller's sunglasses. They reached the attic and flipped the switch, supplying power to the outlet. The fan, however, did not receive power right away since the electric current now needed to travel the entire length of the universe, a journey which would take light approximately 32 billion years round trip, and would take current through a copper wire even longer. Below the dollhouse table, the gentleman aggressed FMK foppishly, which caused him tighten. There's a word missing there, which caused him to tighten his gravity brassiere to increase his mass while decreasing his volume, augmenting his gravitational pull overall. This pull caused HD, NB, and the liberated warriors to fall through the floors under the table, where they, the gentleman, and the four heroes would battle what had become DMMK. They fought DMMK to no avail, as his gravitational field absorbed each attack. The highbrow playfully used the small Kingpin with his level 4 Hoop Tech DMMK Katamari ball, and began rolling up everyone in the room into a ball, stuck together by his gravitational field. Angered, DMMK pulled his drawstrings even further, increasing his mass and falling through the bottom of Whore Island altogether. The jumble of characters fell through the sky for some time while below the others dueled with DMK. ZAD used Combat Operandi Check Yourself Jonah to summon a whale, which he had commanded as a mount. It was quickly shot by the sniper cannon. ZAD and the whale fell onto a prison building below, where the whale died on the roof, while ZAD crashed through numerous floors and became trapped in a cell with a prisoner. Eventually, ZAD, the whale, and the prisoner wound up in the afterlife too. Oh right, I forgot about the prisoner actually. Totally forgot about the prisoner. So thanks Recap for reminding me about that detail. PFPI used the penultimate comb ray of temporal replicollision in conjunction with his future self FFPI, excuse me, who finally appeared from FPI's previous use of temporal replica simile. The two accelerated through the traffic light portals and collided together, intersecting with DMK. This attack depleted the remainder of DMK's health and caused him to descend. It also killed PFPI and FFPI in the process, and the part pickle collision created the short-lived Higgs bonehead in the process. Thanks, Collins. I need a drink. Meanwhile, everyone in the afterlife was developing the habit of coming and going through Death's door at will, much to the dismay of Death. It was at this point when AD shot himself in the game of life, emerged from the game unharmed, and reunited with his family, which set DMK's emotions to be maxed out in time to be dealt massive damage by the replica collision. Thank you, Baffling Bookworm and Heterosapiens. More water. We're getting close. I can see the scroll bar nearing the bottom. The cluster of people falling with DMMK eventually landed in the game of life on DMK's hat. All characters except for DMMK exited Life's door, opposite Death's door, for a large reunion with the deceased characters on top of the hat. PS turned the ship's wheel, causing the large barrel to fall and bounce off PI's head, down to the vulnerable bulb below. It struck the bulb, depleting DMK's spunkmer. The bulb closed. DMK ascended and soon revealed his third and final face. PI's Gambit schema finally wore off when the ripeness attribute was finally depleted, completely rotting the schema pumpkin, which may never have existed in the first place anyway. DMMK in the game of life pulled his drawstrings hard enough to collapse into a black hole, becoming BHMK. BHMK sucked in his two groveling thugs, the entire game of life, and all characters on the hat, sans Death, MM, the Whale, the Bonehead, and all imaginary PIs who obediently remained in the afterlife. Life's door and Death's door were sucked in too. They all landed on top of BHMK's hat inside the black hole, greeted by the Demimonde goddess and 1,000 courtesan angels with no apparent means of escape. DMK's new form quickly ensnared PS and PI in his briar of cruelty. PS had recently obtained the ink of Squid Pro Quo dropped by the Hatless Man, but has yet to discover a weapon to wield against DMK. In space looms the biggest comb of all, nearing completion. Orbiting it is a moon, about which itself orbits the Candy Mecha legs, which support the precious Captain Snoop bust. I forgot about that too. Completely forgot about that. Also on GPI's instruction, PPI, FPI, PFPI, and FFPI just became all the subatomic particles that ever existed in the universe and always comprised every character and every physical location all along. Oh my goodness. I will look at that later. The devil wonders why he's even bothering with this useless exercise in the self-evident. Oh goodness. I need to stop wasting happy caps so I can get epic Discord blue name. Drowning Brand is not a waste. You're both correct. Alright, and that is the recap. Next. Okay. So everything is shaking. That's probably a good thing, right? The gravitational pull of BHMK is slowly drawing every heavenly body closer together. The levels of the Cathedral of Syndetic Ascension are telescoping under the forces of compression. Oh, that was one of the donation commands. Hussey did a bunch of bonus comics around this time via donations. Ah, okay. Interesting. Next. The Briar of Cruelty is choking the life out of you and your ally. You'd better think of something fast. Your lives depend on it. Indeed, the entire universe depends on it. Oh, that's where the Midnight Crew came from? They came from donations? Well, that's a neat factoid. And they become a very important part of the Homestuck canon, too. And the Warhammer of Zillyhoo? Oh, that is really cool. I love the Warhammer of Zillyhoo. Alright, P.I. Tickle Briar of Cruelty. You retrieve the Tectrix of the Arbiter you were granted as a boon from the Weasel King a while ago to duel with death. You had since stowed it in your hat for safekeeping. That bit of cunning foresight was certainly a feather in your cap, figuratively speaking, of course. P.I. Tickle Tech, level 1 feather medal. Auto fumble, oh no! Your foolish Butterfingers mishandle the feather. Oh no! You probably should have spent more time leveling up your Tickle Tech first. Oh dear. Well, that can't be good. Next. P.S. Catch it! Think of the feather. Think of the feather. Focus on the feather. P.S. Catch it. Oh my gosh, it's a sword now. You obtain the legendary Tectrix Caliber. That is fabulous. P.S. Slash Briar. Oh my gosh. Good job, Tectrix Caliber. Next. P.I. lands at the ship's helm, ready to put the wealth of nautical experience from his skippering days to use. Next. Man, that is a sweet pose right there with the sword. Final comb status. The 8th comb is complete. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh my gosh, is it almost time for sepulchritude? P.S. Fill suckle receptacle. Suckle porringer. Comb rave. Final rave. P.S. Sepulchritude. It's going to happen. But this is page 1489. This is the final page of chapter 21. So, here's what we'll do, y'all. I'm gonna take a quick break to go use the bathroom. All you all can get up and stretch and do your thing, and we will continue with the final chapter of Problem Sleuth in just a few moments.